Good afternoon and welcome to Boston Asian Radio and TV English Daily News Today. I am your host, Amanda. Here's a look at the top stories making headlines today. Police investigating after possible infant remains found outside Revere apartment building. Civil rights activist Mel King given final farewell at funeral in Boston. White House launching $5 billion program to speed coronavirus vaccines. Feds Williams says one more hike is reasonable starting place. Northeastern to become permanent tenant at Sheridan Boston Hotel, converting 428 rooms into dorms. Police investigating after possible infant remains found outside Revere apartment building. An investigation is underway after the possible remains of an infant were found outside of an apartment building in Revere on Tuesday night, officials said. Officers responding to a report of a man who located possible remains near the exterior of a multi-unit building at 86 Dolphin Avenue just before 6:30 p.m. made the grim discovery, according to Massachusetts State Police. Video from the scene showed a large emergency response as state police and Revere police detectives scoured the area for evidence. Troopers assigned to the State Police Crime Scene Services section were also called to the scene. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner has taken custody of the possible remains to conduct a further forensic examination. The facts and circumstances surrounding the possible remains are active and fluid at this time, state police said. There were no additional details immediately available. Civil rights activist Mel King given final farewell at funeral in Boston. A large crowd came out to bid a final farewell to civil rights activist Mel King during his funeral on Tuesday at the Union United Methodist Church in the South End. King, who died last month at the age of 94, was the first Black person to reach a Boston mayoral general election 40 years ago. He also served in the state legislature, among other roles. Among those at the service was former Boston mayor and city councilor Kim Janey. I stand on Mel King's strong shoulders as the first woman mayor, as the first Black mayor to lead Boston, and there is no question in my mind it is because of his work and what he has done, Janey said. King led the fight for equality in Boston on many fronts, leading in ways both powerful and personal. His being a poet and a community person has made me who I am today, said Tony B. I wouldn't be the poet populist emeritus of Cambridge if it wasn't for Mel, I know it. White House launching $5 billion program to speed coronavirus vaccines. The Biden administration is launching a $5 billion plus program to accelerate development of new coronavirus vaccines and treatments, seeking to better protect against the still mutating virus and other coronaviruses that might threaten us in the future. The program would work with commercial companies to speed vaccination and therapy development. Scientists, public health specialists, and legislators have advocated for the project, saying present medicines are losing efficacy and new ones are needed. Ashish Jha, the White House coronavirus coordinator, said Monday, the new effort will focus on three goals: creating long-lasting monoclonal antibodies after an evolving virus rendered many current treatments ineffective, accelerating the development of vaccines that produce mucosal immunity, and speeding efforts to develop pan-coronavirus vaccines to guard against new SARS-CoV-2 variants, as well as other coronaviruses. Feds Williams says one more hike is reasonable starting place. Federal Reserve Bank of New York President John Williams said policymakers still have more work to do to bring down inflation and suggested they won't change course despite uncertainty from turmoil in the banking sector. Fed officials lifted interest rates by a quarter percentage point last month, bringing their policy benchmark to a target range of 475% to 5%, up from near zero a year earlier. Williams said the market expectations reflect forecasts for recession, as well as a sharper slowdown in inflation. Fed officials have moved rates to a level that is somewhat restrictive, Williams said, and must now determine how much more it will take to bring them to a sufficiently restrictive level. Northeastern to become permanent tenant at Sheridan Boston Hotel, converting 428 rooms into dorms. Northeastern is expected to permanently convert a section of the Sheraton Boston Hotel in Copley Square into undergraduate housing for about 854 students, according to a Universal Hub story Tuesday. Often seen as overflow housing for a university struggling with a housing crisis, Northeastern has temporarily placed students in the Sheraton since spring 2018. Starting with just 60 returning NU students and later increasing use of the hotel to eventually house hundreds, the Sheridan now houses more than 50% of returning NU in undergraduates. The Boston City Council proposes to reuse and renovate existing space in the hotel to create approximately 12,000 square feet of dedicated student facilities, including a gymnasium, laundry room, and study areas for students. Stay tuned for more updates on Boston news as it develops.